जयो जमुनतीर वनचारी जयो कुञ्ज बिहारी जयो जमुनतीर जयो राधा माधवा जयो कुञ्ज बिहारी जय गोपीजनवल्लभा जयो गिरिवरधारी जयो जशोदनन्दना जयो ब्रजजनरञ्जना जय जमुनातीर वनचारी जयो कुञ्ज बिहारी जयो जमुनातीर हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा माधव श्री राधे जय निताय सचिनंदन, निताय सचिनंदन, निताय सचिनंदन गौर हरि। जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह, जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह, लक्ष्मी नरसिंह, जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह। जय प्रभुपादा, 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 श्रील प्रभुपादा। जय गुरुदेवा, 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 श्रील गुरुदेवा। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री श्री राधा माधव की जय, श्री श्री निताय सच्चिनंदन देव भगवान की जय, श्री श्री लक्ष्मी नरसिंह देव भगवान की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल। हरे कृष्ण। So today we will read from the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verse number 9. If somebody can be kind and distribute the Bhagavad Gitas, that will be helpful. So today's topic is success through surrender. Okay, so achieving success through surrender. But before I start speaking, let's offer the prayers to the previous spiritual masters, by whose mercy we can understand the topics we are discussing. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. So, reading from the third chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, titled Karma Yoga, verse number 9. Please repeat after me. Yajñārtāt karmano anyatra loko ayam karma bandhanah tadartam karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. Would anyone else like to repeat? Yajñārtāt karmano anyatra loko ayam karma bandhanah tadartam karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. Anyone else? Yajñārtāt karmano anyatra loko ayam karma bandhana tam karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. Anyone else? Yajñārtāt karmano anyatra loko ayam karma bandhana tadartam karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. Yajñārtāt karmano anyatra loko ayam karma bandhana tadartam karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. Okay, thank you. So, translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes... Hare Krishna, please don't keep the Bhagavad Gitas on the ground. These are the words of Krishna, so please honor it. Sorry. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction, and in that way you will always remain free from bondage. Purport: since one has to work even for the simple maintenance of the body, the prescribed duties for a particular social position and quality are so made that that purpose can be fulfilled. Yajna means Lord Vishnu or sacrificial performances. All sacrificial performances also are meant for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu. The Vedas enjoin Yajno vai Vishnuhu. In other words, the same purpose is served whether one performs prescribed yajnas or directly serves Lord Vishnu. Krishna consciousness is therefore performance of yajna as it is prescribed in this verse. The Varnashrama institution also aims at satisfying Lord Vishnu. Varnashrama acharavat purushena parah puman Vishnur aradhyate. Vishnu Purana, Canto 3, Chapter 8, verse 8. Therefore, one has to work for the satisfaction of Vishnu. Any other work done in this material world will be a cause of bondage, for both good and evil work have their reactions. And any reaction binds the performer. Therefore, one has to work in Krishna consciousness to satisfy Krishna or Vishnu, and while performing such activities, one is in a liberated stage. This is the great art of doing work. And in the beginning, this process requires very expert guidance. One should therefore act very diligently under the expert guidance of a devotee of Lord Krishna, or under the direct instruction of Lord Krishna himself, under whom Arjuna had the opportunity to work. Nothing should be performed for sense gratification, but everything should be done for the satisfaction of Krishna. This practice will not only save one from the reaction of work, but also gradually elevate one to the transcendental loving service of the Lord, which alone can raise one to the kingdom of God. So I will read the translation one more time of this verse. Krishna is speaking to Arjuna here. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed, otherwise work causes bondage in this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction, and in that way you will always remain free from bondage. So, I chose this verse, and the topic today is success through the process of surrender. And when we speak of surrender, surrender to whom? Surrender to Krishna. Krishna demands surrender, right? Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshaishyami mashuchaha. Krishna says in the 18th chapter of the Gita, 66th verse, he says that abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I will deliver you from all kind of sinful reactions. Do not fear. And Srila Prabhupada in the purport to that verse says that this word ma shuchaha means three things. One is do not fear, and the second is do not hesitate, and the third is do not doubt. So ma shuchaha means one should have faith in Krishna's words, that Krishna will take care of everything. And one should have no fear, one should have no doubt, and one should not hesitate to surrender to Krishna. And in this chapter, what we are seeing is Lord Krishna telling Arjuna that one should work for Krishna. Otherwise, work will cause bondage in this material world. What is this bondage? Right? One may say, oh, I am free. What is binding me? Right? Shri Shri Nitai Sachinandan Dev Bhagavan ki jai. Shri Shri Lakshmi Narasimha Bhagavan ki jai. So one may claim that I am free. I can go wherever I want. Right? I can do whatever I want. But a sober person can give it a little bit of thought and see, am I really free? I don't want to suffer, but I am still suffering. If the temperature changes, I suffer. Right? If somebody says something bad to me, I suffer. I don't want to get sick, but I get sick and I suffer. I don't want to get old, but I still get old, I suffer. I don't want to die, but I still have to die. Correct? So who is free? Who is really free from these things? Right? So when we look at the problems of life, what are the problems of life? One may say that, oh, my country's president is not good. That's a problem. Economy is bad. That's a problem. Right? This is problem, that is problem. But a problem is that which no one wants it and no one can escape it. It applies to everyone. That is problem. Like for example, I may say smoking is a problem. Whenever I get on public transport, or let's say I walk on the street, there is somebody smoking, I am bothered by it. So it's a problem for me. But for the smoker, it's not a problem. He likes it. Correct? Some similar way I say drinking is a big problem. In fact, in the United States, there was prohibition. Right? They had banned alcohol, which was unheard of, right? In the United States. And because the problem of alcohol was so prevalent that the government had to do something about it. Right? There was prohibition. So one may say drinking is a problem. But for a drunkard or an alcoholic, drinking is the greatest enjoyment. Right? So problems are those which no one wants it. No one can escape it, and it affects everyone. So the problems of this world are Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi Dukkha Dosha Anudarshana. Krishna says in the Gita that the problems that a living entity faces is that the living entity is forced to take birth. A living entity is forced to give up this body. A living entity is forced to become old. Right? And a living entity is forced to become sick, even though it doesn't want it. So those are the problems. And one should try to find a permanent solution to this. Like, for example, any living entity, let's take a pig, for example. A pig, if we look at the conditions in which it lives, it's very abominable. Right? Would anyone like to live in a pigsty? A pigsty is where they keep pigs. It's very abominable. A pig eats stool. Right? But in its mind, it is enjoying. Right? But even a pig who is living in such a condition, if he is taken out of that cage by force, it will protest. If it is going to be killed, it will protest. Right? So every living entity has awareness of what death is. Isn't it so? Even a small creature about to be killed would protest, would make noise. So we are all spirit souls. We learned that from the Bhagavad Gita. In the second chapter itself, Krishna introduces this topic of what our real identity is. Our real identity is that we are spirit souls. We are not this body. Our problem is that we identify with the body. So we have various designations. I am Indian. I am American. I am man. I am woman. I am dog. I am cat. In this way, there is identification, false identification. So that is the problem of all living entities. And due to that problem, they are forced to take birth, forced to become old, sick, and die. And one should find a solution to those problems. And through our existence, we have to work. Now we are coming to the topic of human beings. Human beings have to work. Even for the simple maintenance of the body, you have to work. Like for example, if you want to eat, your hands should go to the food and pick up the food and put it in the mouth. There is some work that is involved. And you have to chew the food. Right? So one who says, I don't have to work. No, you have to work. And you have to keep some basic cleanliness to keep the body healthy. Right? You have to take your bath. Huh? You have to keep your surroundings clean. Right? So there is work that is required. And work is performed simple for the simple maintenance of the body and according to our particular social position and quality. There are different prescribed duties. So for example, if I am a student, my duty is to study. Right? If I am a software programmer, my duty is to write software programs. If I am a housewife, my duty is to cook. Right? And all of these are work. But what Krishna is talking about here is that work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu must be performed. And Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport that one should work for the satisfaction of Vishnu. Any other work means any other work done to please our own senses will cause bondage. Right? There is a verse in the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. It says, Atma Priti Vanche Kare Tare Kama. Krishnendriya Priti Vanche Tare Prema. So love of God and lust has only one difference. Atmendriya Priti Vanche Tare Bole Kama. If one works for one's own sense gratification, to please one's own sense, one's own mind, it is called as Kama. Krishnendriya Priti Vanche. When one works for the satisfaction of Krishna and his senses, then it is called Prema. Very simple difference, right? The difference is what is the focus of that? What is the focus of our efforts? And the results are also different. When one works for the satisfaction of one's own senses, then it causes bondage. Bondage in what way? Bondage in that one has to remain in this material world and undergo this process of birth, death, old age and disease again and again and again. Rinse and repeat. We have been doing it. Right? And one is forced. So Srila Prabhupada makes this statement in this purport that any other work done in this material world will be a cause of bondage, for both good and evil work have their reactions, and any reaction binds the performer. So we all have heard of the term karma. Karma is of two kinds. There is punya and papa. Punya means pious activities by which one gets so-called good results. And papa is sinful activities by which one gets bad results. But the key point is that both punya and papa requires a body, requires the soul to take a body to enjoy or suffer the results. So many people have a leaning towards performing punya, pious activities, right? But they forget that by performing those, they have to take a body. Now one may question, so what should I do then? I cannot do good, I cannot do bad. Either way, I am in a pretty bad situation. Yes, we are. But there is a solution for it. And Krishna talks about that in the 4th chapter, verse number 18. So if you can go to that verse, 4th chapter, verse 18. Karmanya karmayah pashyet akarmani cha karmayah sabuddhiman manusheshu sayuktah kritsna karmakrit. One who sees inaction in action and action in inaction is intelligent among men, and he is in the transcendental position, although engaged in all sorts of activities. Right? And in the next verse, I will just read the English. one is understood to be in full knowledge, whose every endeavor is devoid of desire for sense gratification. Right? So the key point is, in the verse number 18, Krishna says that one who sees inaction in action and action in inaction is intelligent among men, and he is in the transcendental position, although engaged in all sorts of activities. Now, is Krishna doing some kind of word jugglery here? Right? Action in inaction, inaction in action. What does it mean? Right? Action done for the sake of Krishna has no reactions. It is called as akarma. Akarma means there is no karmic reaction. Every other activity causes a reaction. And for a reaction, one has to have a body. But when one does the same activity for the sake of Krishna, then there is no reaction. That is called akarma. So Krishna gives the solve. Krishna is not just doing some word jugglery and confusing Arjuna. Right? There is a saying, right? If you can't convince them, confuse them. Right? Many people do that. Like if you can't convince somebody of your argument, just confuse them. And they will be thinking, maybe this person is right. Right? But Krishna is not doing that. He is very clear in his instructions. Right? So he is saying, work done for the satisfaction of Krishna, Vishnu, must be done. Right? There is a verse in the Bhagavatam where Lord Rishabhdev says, Nunam pramate kurute vikarma yat indriya pritiya apranoti nasadu manye yata atmano ayam asan api kleshada ashadeha. That I will have to look up the translation because it is a pretty long one. So this is from Canto 5, Chapter 5, verse 4 of the Srimad Bhagavatam, where Lord Rishabhdev says, when a person considers sense gratification the aim of life, he certainly becomes mad after materialistic living and engages in all kinds of sinful activity. He does not know that due to his past misdeeds, he has already received a body which, although temporary, is the cause of his misery. Gratification. Therefore, I think it is not befitting an intelligent man to involve himself again in the activities of sense gratification by which he perpetually gets material bodies one after another. And trying to find pleasure that way, one becomes mad after materialistic activities. One may, under the spell of illusion, think, oh, it's okay, it happens to others, but no, it won't happen to me. Right? Like Maya or illusion will try to convince us that all these people, they have tried and died. Right? You don't see a U-Haul behind a hearse. Have you heard that? It was said by Denzel Washington, but you know. Is that you don't see a U-Haul behind a hearse. Hearse means you don't see the man carrying his possessions to the grave and to his next life. Right? So, all those activities, illusion, Maya Devi tries to convince you, oh, so many people have tried and failed, they have died, but I will make an exception for you. Right? It's like car salesmen, they say, I don't give this deal to anyone, but you're a good guy, I like you, I'll give you this deal. Right? So, everyone becomes hooked, and it is very enjoyable, like, yes, I can enjoy my senses. If only I adjust this one thing, just this much, then I can enjoy. But everybody fails again, and then there is another hope. And this is the cycle we have been in. And what Lord Krishna is telling is there is another way. What Krishna is asking for is not slavery, where you are potentially laboring forever and there is no enjoyment. No. The secret is that if one satisfies Krishna's senses, then one automatically becomes happy. Just like if one feeds the stomach, then the whole body becomes happy. You don't have to make a separate effort to make the hand happy, right? Or the head happy. No, just feed the stomach. Yatha taror moola nishechanena tripyanti tatskanda bhujobashaka pranopharartha yatendriyanam tataiva sarvarhanam achyuteja. Achyuta, Krishna. The verse says that just like by watering the roots of a tree, you can satisfy every single branch, every single twig, every single by offering devotional service to the Supreme Lord, Achyuta, one can satisfy everyone and oneself becomes satisfied. But people have been mad running after sense gratification. There is a story of a certain person called Midas. Have you heard of Midas? The Midas touch. Nowadays it is said in a positive way. The Midas touch. So Midas was a person who was very much attached to gold. He wanted gold. Right? So he prayed and prayed. And he, by some arrangement of providence, he got this benediction that anything you touch will become gold. Sounds good? Sounds good? Anyone? So he started touching. He touched the chair, it became a golden chair. He touched the wall, it became a golden wall. Everything started becoming gold. But then came the fine print. He was hungry, so he wanted to eat something. The moment he touched the food, became gold. He couldn't eat it, right? He couldn't drink because the water would turn into gold. So this person was really like, uh-oh, I didn't think this through. Then finally, he was sitting, contemplating this, and his son came running to him. Papa, like that. And what does a father do when the son comes running? He embraced him. Son became a golden statue. So, Midas learned the lesson. Nowadays, the Midas touch is used in a positive way. People say, oh, he has the Midas touch, which means he turns everything into gold. But people forget the moral of the story, right? So one may work like anything. A businessman may work like anything, and he may earn some profit, and he thinks that is the greatest pleasure. There is this certain big merchant in Bombay. When he was young, he was very poor. As a young boy, he was an orphan actually, and he was very poor. And he had a very big attraction to eating chaats. You know, chaats, what do they call it? Savories, right? So he had a very intense desire to eat chaats. But the trouble was he was poor. He couldn't afford it. So what he decided to do is that he started working hard. Day and night he would work. And he opened up his own chaat shop. And he became immensely successful. Not just one shop, shop after shop after shop, big chain, big empire of savories. But what happened is that by the time he acquired all this and he could eat all the chaats he wanted, he developed health issues, diabetes. So much so that if he took even one bite of that sweets and savories that he prepared, he would die. And he was revealing this to some brahmacharis who are celibate monks who live in the temple. He was telling this to them that you are actually very fortunate because Krishna has given you health. And at a very young age, you are serving Krishna. And not that you are just serving Krishna. Krishna is giving you so much prasadam. All the charts in the world is coming as prasadam. You can eat it and you have the good health to digest it. I, on the other hand, wasted my life, right, working and building this empire by which others are eating chaat, but I myself cannot eat it. So who are we working for? What is the purpose of working? Srila Prabhupada said, I can live by eating 6 chapatis a day. That's all I need. I can get that chapatis anywhere. Why do I need to work like anything to get that 6 chapatis? Even if you say you want to enjoy, how much can you enjoy? Like if, let's say, somebody serves you a feast and your stomach is full. Once your stomach is full, you cannot even take another bite even if you want to. In fact, that very same thing that gives you that pleasure in the beginning becomes repulsive. Like, I can't take it. Right? In fact, some people actually vomit, right? Because they ate so much. Or if somebody says, I want to sleep, how much can you sleep? After some time, you have to get up to at least go to answer the call of nature, right? Anything you take, how much can you enjoy? There is a limit. Once, a sage came to a certain town and everybody came to see the sage because he was very, very elevated person. Everybody came to see the sage. And the sage was giving benedictions to everyone. So, first, the son of the king, he came before the sage, the prince, right? And the sage gave a benediction, Rajaputra, Rajaputra, Chiranjiva. He said, Chiranjiva, may you live forever. Okay. Then the son of a sage came, another sage, Muniputra. So this sage said, Muniputra, Muniputra, Majiva. Means, oh, son of the sage, may you die. And then a butcher came to him. And he said, Majiva, Mamara. May you neither live, may you neither die. And then a Vaishnava came to him. And he said, Jivova, Marova. Whether you live or die doesn't matter. So the king heard about this and he was thinking, what kind of benediction is this? Right? So he asked an expert minister, what is the secret behind this? So the minister understood what the sage meant. So the minister said, Sir, he said about your son, Rajaputra, Rajaputra, Chiranjiva, may you live forever. The reason he said is that your son is such a rascal and he is doing so many sinful activities that if he dies, the next body he is going to get is going to be very dangerous. So he is saying, don't die, may you live. Right? The Muniputra, the son of the sage, he said, may you die. The reason he said is that the son of the sage is already undertaking so many austerities. He is not committing any sinful activities. He is living a very devoted life. May he die now so that he doesn't have a chance to commit sinful activities. His future is bright. If he dies, he will go back to Godhead. He doesn't have to take birth again. Then came the butcher. The butcher, the sage said, may you neither live or die. Because the butcher has been committing so many sinful activities and so many sinful actions is happening that it is equally bad if he lives or dies. It's going to be bad. And for the Vaishnava, the one who is abiding by the laws of Krishna and he is always devoted to Krishna, The sage said, Jivova Marova, means it doesn't matter whether you live or die, because he will always serve Krishna. So the question before us is, what do we want to do? What kind of a life do we want to do? The free will is there. The free will is there to decide what we want to do in life. And we can look at some examples to see what these people did in their life. And he was born into luxury. But the moment he heard a verse or a message, his whole characteristic changed. He arrested his own father and put him in prison and threatened to kill him also. His own sister, Devaki, he tried to kill her. And he goes on to kill every single baby who takes birth. And he kills the 6 sons of Devaki in front of them by smashing them against a rock. Just see how much a spirit soul can fall down in its ambition, in its sense gratification propensities. And Kamsa did all kinds of things to ensure his safety. But was Kamsa successful? No. Another example is Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu had conquered the universe, not just the earth planet, the universe up to the planet of Lord Brahma. And the demigods were at his beck and call. And for anyone looking at it, it will be like, amazing life. What a life. Like that. But Hiranyakashipu, was he happy? Hiranyakashipu had many sons. One of them was Prahlad. And this one son, Prahlad, 5-year-old boy, didn't accept Hiranyakashipu as the Lord, as the all-in-all. And that bothered Hiranyakashipu like anything. 5-year-old boy, living in his own palace. The rest of the universe is worshipping him. But Hiranyakashipu was not happy. And that is the nature of greed. Is that greed burns. It is never satisfied. Lust burns. Right? Kama esha, krodha esha, rajo. Lust doesn't mean a sexual nature. Lust means whenever we want to satisfy our own senses, that is called lust. And Hiranyakashipu was not at all happy. He couldn't just tolerate that this 5-year-old boy living in his home didn't accept his authority. Right? And he tried to kill him in all kinds of manner possible. Right? And he wasn't successful. And that bothered him even more. Like how difficult is it to kill a 5-year-old boy? Right? And this is Hiranyakashipu, and he couldn't do that. So he was really bothered. This is the nature of a materialistic person. The smallest thing will bother you like anything. Right? In contrast, look at the life of Prahlad. Prahlad was alone in the palace. There was no Sunday school, there was no daily Srimad Bhagavatam class, there was no Kirtan going on like that. All of his friends, everyone were demons. Every single one, including his own mother, was devoted to Hiranyakashipu. And if one looks at that situation, that is pretty depressing. And his own father is trying to kill him. Right? For anyone else, that is like hopeless. Why should I be Krishna conscious? What has Krishna given me? But for the devotee, the biggest problem is nothing. That is the difference. Materialist, the smallest thing is the biggest concern. And for the devotee, the biggest problem is nothing. He was not affected. He had faith in Krishna. Right? And he continued his worship. Even after Narasimhadev killed Hiranyakashipu, cared about his devotion to Krishna. Another example is in this very book, Arjuna. Right? Arjuna was told by Krishna, Nimitta matram savvesachan, that you become an instrument. These people, all these soldiers assembled, they are already killed. They are already dead. You just become an instrument and you take the glory. And Arjuna understood that, yes, this is what Krishna wants me to do. And he followed that. Nashtamoho smritir labdva tvat prasadad mayachyuda. Arjuna tells Krishna, because in the 18th chapter, Krishna says, Arjuna, are your doubts dispelled now? Are you okay? And he said, you do yatechasi tathakuru. You do what you like, Arjuna. Krishna didn't force. And Arjuna said this, Nashtamoho smritir labdva tvat prasadat mayachyuda. My illusion is gone and I will do as you are saying. Karishye vachanam tava. Right? That, he just did that. This happened before the war, okay? Yes? But Arjuna showed up for battle that very next day. Abhimanyu was killed. Arjuna didn't take time off and said, oh, okay, you know what, 3 days, morning, right? No, next day he shows up for war. Devotees are not fair weather devotees. Their own glory, but to act as instruments of Krishna. And that is the message for today, is that one should become an instrument of Krishna. One should follow the instructions of Krishna. And one should surrender to Krishna. Shri Srinitaya Sachinandandev Bhagavan ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Shri Lakshmi Narasimhadev Bhagavan ki jai. One should become an instrument of Krishna and do as Krishna asks us to do. And what is the process of surrender to Krishna? In this age, it has been made very easy. Rama Rama Hare Hare. Idi Shodashaka Namani Kalikalmashanashanam Matta Paratropayam Sarva Vedeshu na Drishyate. That Lord Brahma is telling Narada Muni that these 16 words of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the only way of deliverance in this age of Kali. And he is saying, I have already studied the Vedas, left, right and center, and there is Matta Paratropayam. There is no other way. Sarva Vedeshu na Drishyate. Access is to surrender to Krishna and to surrender by obeying the instructions of Krishna. And for this age, the instruction is to chant the holy names. And as long as we can chant and call out to the Supreme Lord with all earnesty, Krishna will always take care of you. Krishna will never forget whatever little service you do. Neha Vikramanasho asti pratyavayo na vidyate swalpam api asya dharmasya trayate mahato bayat. From the greatest kind of fear, Krishna will save you, even if you make a little bit of advancement in this process. So my request, my friends and devotees, is please take up the chanting of the holy name. Surrender unto Krishna, remember Krishna, and your life will be successful. I'll stop here and see if anybody has any questions or comments or reflections. Any take-home messages, please share. Anything that you took away? I mean, I spoke for about 45 minutes. So if somebody asked you in the car park, what was that guy talking in there? What would you say? With the mask, I can't see who is speaking. Surrender to Krishna. Yes, thank you. You were saying something, Prabhu? Okay. Do the activities which are pleasing to Krishna. Yes, what is that? Chanting. Okay, good.
And you can't get very much from Greta from your own work for sense gratification because you're going to die.
That's a bad plan. Yes, don't engage in sense gratification. I mean, we have been trying that for many, many lives. One of my friends told me, when Krishna appeared 5,000 years ago, we didn't surrender. When Krishna appeared 500 years ago as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we didn't surrender. At least now we should surrender. Right? Give this one life for Krishna. गीता की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल.
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaho Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Shunyavadi Pashatyadesha Tarine Namaste Nivishesha Shunyavadi Pashatyadesha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Prabhu Nityananda Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Hare Rama Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Jaya Nitai Sachinandana Nitai Sachinandana Nitai Sachinandana Gaura Hari Nitai Sachinandana Gaura Hari Jaya Radha Damodar Radha Damodar Radha Damodar Shri Radhe Radha Damodar Radha Jaya Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Shri Radhe Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Vanadham Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Srila Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Srila Gurudev विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य सूत्र सिद्ध श्री श्री AC Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON and BBD founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa की जय. श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय. श्री नवदीप मायापुर धाम की जय. श्री जगन्नाथपुरी क्षेत्र धाम की जय. गंगा मैया मैया की जय. भक्ति देवी तुलसी देवी की जय. सामवेद भक्तविंद की जय. निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. All glories to the Samud devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the Samud devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the Samud devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru Gauranga Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Namaste Simhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Hiranya Narasimha Parato Narasimha Nito Narasimha Parato Narasimha Amita to Narasimha यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहो बाहिर नरसिंहो बाहिर नरसिंहो हृदय नरसिंहो नरसिंहमद नरसिंहमद शरण प्रपज केशव बद्रीता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तव तव कर कमल नका अद्भुत श्रृंगार दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु धन भृंगा केशव बद्रीता नरहरि रूपा जय जय केशव बद्रीता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश जगदीश हरे जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे केशव Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Jayana Bhatapala Jaya Prabhupada Gurudev Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Nrsimhadev Bhagavan ki.
About to enter. Can we welcome them with a loud Hari Bol as they enter? Engage myself in king, but I engage my mind and other senses in Krishna's service. Krishna. Oh. Do you know who you are? Radharani? Can you say Radharani?
Balaram, Krishna, Radha, Sita.
Do you all want to say one more line why you chose that character? Do you want to say anything more? You feel free to say something more if you want.
Krishna.
years old and I'm a pure devotee of Krishna.
My name is Madhava. I'm 10 years old and
What's wrong? Can you go in front, all of you, in front of the other kids and present yourself? Okay.
She was Krishna's sister and I really like Krishna.
Hi, my name is Dia. I'm dressed up as Radha because I don't really know.
Nodded quietly. Satyabhama ordered her maids to bring her jewels and her servants to bring a big scale. Krishna sat on one of the plates and Satyabhama slowly started to put all her jewels on the other plate. As much as she put, it would not be equal to the Lord's amount. She realized her mistake and she rushed to Rukmini's help. Rukmini was humble and kind, so she did not panic and started to help.
Okay, we have one of the youngest maybe, devotee around here, and he is
Now he's Damodar, he's upset with his Yashoda Ai, that's why he's not talking. He gave the decorations that she put for him also. He's upset. Thank you, everybody. And then we have Surabhi Cow here.
Hare Krishna, like Mataji explained, I'm the holy cow, and because
not the kids. Can you say with me, Govinda, Madhava? So all the kids after the Damodar Ashram, they will go for the party, a small party in Sunday school. They will enjoy some ice cream, some cookies, along with some cake. If anybody